Berlin Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany faced the greatest crisis of her political career on Monday, after late-night negotiations to form a new government collapsed, raising the prospect of a snap election. The Chancellor said she remained hopeful about forming a majority government. But if forced to choose, she said she would prefer to go through new elections rather than try to lead a minority government. "I don't want to say never, but I am very skeptical, and believe that new elections would be the better way forward," the Chancellor told the public broadcaster ARD. The uncertainty raised new doubts about the political longevity of Ms. Merkel, considered perhaps the West's most ardent defender of democratic values and freedoms. At a time when the European Union is facing a host of pressing problems, from Brexit negotiations with Britain, to the rise of right-wing populism, to separatism in Spain's Catalonia region, the possibility of political instability in a normally reliable Germany sent tremors through the continent. The collapse of talks reflected the deep reluctance of Ms. Merkel's party and each of the prospective coalition partners to compromise over key positions, especially on immigration, climate, and tax policies. "There is no coalition of the willing to form a government," said Thomas Klein-Brockhoff, director of the Berlin office of the German Marshall Fund. "This is uncharted territory since 1949. We're facing a protracted period of political immobility. Not only is this not going to go away soon, there is no clear path out. Calling new elections is not a straightforward procedure in Germany." Written with the unstable governments of the 1920s and 1930s and collapse of the Weimar Republic in mind, the German constitution includes several procedural hurdles that would ensure a prolonged and difficult process. Some were quick to link Germany's disorder to a broader crisis of democracy in the West. "The unthinkable has happened," said Christian Hoffmann, deputy head of the Berlin bureau of Der Spiegel, a German magazine. "In that sense," she said, "this is Germany's Brexit moment, its Trump moment." Others said Germany's troubles were in many ways just a sign that the country was becoming more normal, not less. Having had only 4 chancellors since 1982, the country has known only a string of centrist governments that governed by consensus. The crisis erupted less than 3 months since the last election, which brought the right-wing Alliance for Democracy or AfD into parliament and in some ways represented the return of politics to a country long deprived of debate and policy disagreements. It's just another step in the long learning of democracy of Germany since World War II, going from a very stable proportional system to something more messy, said Henrik Enderlein, dean of the Hertie School of Governance in Berlin. The bigger question, he said, was whether Mrs. Merkel's pragmatic governing style had reached its limit in an era where people craved the clash of a wider spectrum of policies. "Her uber-pragmatism is reaching its end," he said.